A day has passed. The noise has settled. Now, let's return to the night when Lionel Messi reminded the footballing world that miracles still exist. Before a ball was kicked in Atlanta, Egypt had already become the miracle story of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. A nation that had never celebrated a World Cup victory had suddenly found itself among the last 16. They had frustrated Belgium, defeated New Zealand, battled Iran to a draw, and survived Australia in a nerve-wracking penalty shootout. Even more remarkably, they had not trailed for a single minute in normal time throughout the tournament. Mohamed Salah was carrying injuries, but Egypt had discovered something even more powerful than individual brilliance: collective belief. Standing in their way were the reigning world champions. To most of the football world, this was where the dream would end. Egypt believed it was only beginning. From the very first whistle, Egypt showed they had not come to admire Lionel Messi, they had come to silence him. Marwan Attia and Hamdi Lashin transformed the midfield into a battlefield, denying Messi both the passes into him and the passing lanes out of him. Every time Argentina tried to build through their captain, another Egyptian shirt appeared. The rhythm disappeared. The spaces vanished. The defending champions looked strangely uncomfortable, while Egypt grew stronger with every passing minute. When Marwan Attia delivered a teasing cross in the 15th minute, Yasser Ibrahim attacked it fearlessly, rising above Lisandro Martinez to power a header beyond Emiliano Martinez. Atlanta fell silent. Egypt were not dreaming anymore. They were living it. Argentina were handed an immediate chance to respond when Nicolas Tagliafico won a penalty. The stadium rose to its feet, convinced this was the moment Lionel Messi would restore order. Instead, Mostafa Shobir guessed perfectly, diving low to his left to push the penalty away. In that single moment, the pressure completely changed sides. It was no longer Egypt carrying the weight of expectation. It was Argentina. Shobir refused to stop there. He denied Alexis Mac Allister, watched Messi's free kick crash against the post, and somehow produced an astonishing save to keep out Julian Alvarez. Every save added another layer to Egypt's belief. Every missed Argentine chance made the impossible seem a little more real. The second half unfolded exactly as Egypt had imagined. They defended with discipline, waited patiently, and looked to strike whenever Argentina committed too many players forward. Mostafa Zico thought he had doubled the lead just before the hour mark, only for VAR to intervene and disallow the goal for an earlier foul. For a few painful moments, it felt as though fate had finally turned against Egypt. But instead of allowing disappointment to consume them, they simply attacked again. 9 minutes later, Mohamed Salah released Hassam Hassan down the right. Hassan lifted his head and rolled a perfect cutback into the box, and Zico calmly swept it home. This time there was no whistle, no review, no escape. Egypt led 2-0. With just 11 minutes remaining, the defending world champions stood on the edge of elimination. Around the world, millions of Argentine supporters began preparing themselves for heartbreak. There was no anger directed toward Messi. There couldn't be. He had already given Argentina more than anyone could ever ask of a footballer. Many quietly accepted that this might be the final World Cup match of the greatest player of his generation. The dream of defending the title seemed to be slipping away. But while the football world was preparing for an ending, Lionel Messi was preparing to write another chapter. Something changed in him. He stopped waiting for the game to arrive at his feet and began chasing it himself. He dropped deeper into midfield, drifted toward the right wing, demanded possession, and dragged Argentina forward through sheer force of will. The graceful artist who had mesmerized football for 2 decades gave way to something even more dangerous. The elegance remained, but beneath it emerged the relentless competitor. The steel beneath the silk. The comeback began with a moment of absolute precision. Messi lifted a perfect cross into the penalty area, and Christian Romero met it with a thunderous header. Suddenly, the impossible no longer felt impossible. For minutes later, the ball broke loose inside Egypt's penalty area for the briefest of moments. Messi reacted before anyone else could even think, smashing a first-time finish beyond Shobir to make it 2-2. In the space of 4 breathtaking minutes, everything had changed. Atlanta erupted. Egypt, who had controlled the match for nearly 80 minutes, suddenly found themselves fighting to survive. Football has always asked the same impossible question whenever Lionel Messi stands in the middle of its biggest stage: what more can he possibly do? Atlanta delivered the answer. Deep into stoppage time, Lautaro Martinez swung one final cross into the box. Enzo Fernandez timed his run to perfection and powered a magnificent header into the far corner. From trailing 2-0 with only 11 minutes left, Argentina had completed one of the greatest comebacks in World Cup history. History itself had changed. Argentina had never before won a World Cup match after trailing at halftime. Until now. Statistics will remember 8 goals and 1 assist. They will remember 6 consecutive World Cup knockout matches with a goal, 21 World Cup goals, and 9 World Cup assists. Records will preserve the numbers forever. But numbers cannot capture what Atlanta witnessed that night. For almost 80 minutes, football belonged to Egypt. Then Lionel Andres Messi reminded the world that some players don't simply play the game, they change the ending.